Welcome your faces back to another episode of Trendz here on the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel. If you are new round here, please make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let us know you're enjoying the content. Send in your questions as well or anything you'd like covered on Trendz. And today's episode, we're looking at probably the most talked about superstar in the world of football. That is none other than Mr. Nick Daicos. So let's run that intro and get straight into him.
But I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Nick Daicos, Nicky D. Let's take a look at the guy, and he's much talked about for a multitude of reasons, but obviously debatable if general defender is his position. He is all over the ground at the minute. 6 games this year. The Trendz ranking for a general position defender is first. And he's only 20 years of old. And this kid here, in short, you're looking at greatness. You really are. And I find it really weird how the media and other fan bases perceive this guy. It is really a tall poppy syndrome. We've had a lot of people in the media, on socials, you'll see say he doesn't get contested possessions. We'll cover that later, but you are looking at a kid here with exceptional IQ. This guy here has probably wrote the book already on football nous. And I remember having the joys of covering him in the draft and on my own channel, and I was huge on this kid. I know a lot of talk was JHF, but there was something about him, and you see it, particularly if you go back and watch the Brisbane game. He had a bit of attention there, and Port Adelaide, he had a bit of attention there, but this guy's ability to see the game before it materialises in front of him is second to none. To use an analogy elsewhere, his running patterns are almost like Lionel Messi's. At times, he's jogging, he looks disinterested. Then when he sees that opportunity, the reason that he doesn't get contested possessions is his work rate and his endeavour to get to where the ball is going is second to none. And in the system that Fly has built, it almost makes it negligent to put a hard tag on him because of where he starts in the ground. He starts generally off that high half-back position. We've seen Fly against Port. He moved him to back pocket, which made it even harder to tag him. Playing on the wing, he pinch hits occasionally on the ball, a bit less. But his ability to really do the most weirdest of things. There's some great passages of play in the Essendon game as well, where he's kind of walking and then out of nowhere, he walks back towards goal. He sprints to where's the action's happening. And in a zonal system, this guy has a great understanding. All the best teams in the league play zonal systems, particularly in their front half of the ground. His ability to make his runs and then do the sprints where the zones intersect makes it incredibly hard because invariably it moves players out of their position, freeing up other players. And that is another huge part of Nick Daicos' assets. His ability to understand how a zonal system works and understands how to negate it. Let's get into the cold, hard facts. These positions are generally regarded the most important stats for a player of his ilk. 36.7 possessions elite. The guy finds a lot of the ball. Now, we'll come on to the contested side of things a bit later, but I find it flabbergasting that, for me, disposals is the most pointless stat in the AFL. However, it's what he does with them possessions. It's something that I've been a big advocate of Tom Mitchell. He doesn't damage you. When he's getting the ball 30 times, he's handballing to someone who can. That's a danger. And that's it there. The 1.3 tackles, never been known for his defensive craft. However, defensively, he isn't too shabby anyway. But 1.3 tackles a game. His pressure acts are in the okay range. But at the end of the day, the best form of defense in this style and modern day world is attack. And this is what this guy is. He's got a degree in it. 2.2 score launches, ridiculous. 82% kicking efficiency in the upper echelon. And think how many times he has the ball. Them stats dwarf his adversaries by a mile. And 616 metres gained in a league that has so much onus on the territorial advantage. This guy gets territory. And let's look at these numbers. 8.5 contested possessions, elite, ranked 1 in the competition for players who play his position. And that is an incredible, incredible stat, I think, because this guy oscillates. And you see, like we say, he had double figures against Lions. They did put a bit of attention on him. The reason that no one talks about it is he absolutely broke and made some very senior players look amateuresque. 23.8 uncontested possessions, and that isn't really a credit of him getting easy ball. Look at McRae's system. It is incredibly labor-intensive on your ability to attack pockets of space. They don't attack the ball hard like other sides. They attack pockets of space, which is why they're so hard to defend against at the moment and why they can run over the top. You are working so incredibly hard in defense against these sides, but also with the ball. You have to understand when you turn it over, the way that they attack is devastating. And it is a game style that only needs 10 minutes of height for them to run over the top of sides. The only way at the moment we've seen to beat them is get the jump on them early, which means that they have to press the button. But their ability to be aerobically conservative throughout the game is second to none at the moment from the Pies. And this guy is really a big part of it. How hard he works to get into space. Don't do them uncontested numbers justice. It's easy and very archaic to look at the 80s when everyone was smoking Bifters and Jamesons at half-time and got in uncontested positions. Possessions are soft. In the cold, hard facts of reality in elite level sport now, that also tells you that he works damn harder than everyone else on the field. And it's evident. 7.3 ground balls. And it's really interesting because if we're looking at hard man stats, ground ball gets are one of them. So it's one that we pride ourselves on and we get really excited about. That is elite. Clearances, elite for his position, and 1 goal a game is just ridiculous for how heavy and how hard he overlaps his man. And it is incredibly impressive, the work rate of this guy, first and foremost. And you can see that the work that they've done with Wade and getting that fitness is so evident. His aerobic capacity is second to none. Combine that with IQ, you've got the complete footballer. And you know, his defensive running patterns are improving by the day, which was one of his question marks at junior levels. If we look at his rankings, and this is really important, number 1 in disposals across the AFL, 2nd in meters gained in the AFL, 6th in score involvements in the AFL, 12 in inside 50s, and 1st in contested possessions, gen defender. You've got to find midfielders who are above him. And there's some big names, but his contested possession numbers are also up there with players like Hugh Greenwood, who are regarded as hard men. Newcomb isn't far ahead of him. These are really impressive stats. And for a guy that's in his 2nd year, when you've got Hinckley coming out and defending Horne-Francis for being average, this guy is elite. This guy's supreme. And this is a real credit to Nick Daicos. I really am a firm believer that enjoy it before it's too late, because CR7 is a great example. People used to critique him at the start of his career, but enjoy it before it's too late. Enjoy it before it's too late, before we're having the conversation of what if, was he one of the best players we've ever seen? And this guy here, his work rate, his energy, the system Fly's built plays to this guy's one wood. And that is impressive. Now, let's look at this. This was last week. Now, can you tag him? I personally think you can tag any human being on the planet. All right. I think that you could put a hard tag on him. The issue you're going to have is if you hard tag him is you are going to be hard tagging him with a forward. You are going to be taking away something from you. I would say that the most logical thing that you can do with this guy is someone like when a Jack Sinclair, someone like that, Adam Sard, someone that can really hurt you defensively. You've got to get the forward against them kicking goals. You've got to get the forward there saying to McFly, this guy here is going to damage you. So now Fly has the question, do I change my structure and move this guy, which he isn't scared to do? Or you play the hard tag and lose a forward effectively, but you always run the risk of the way that this guy's running patterns are, that before you know it, you are in strife and you are out of position defensively, because look at how he runs. He can be at halfback flank, and then before you know it, he's at the forward pocket. And there is an issue. It's got to be a team system. And the way that you've got to negate it is take away his corridor. You've got to take away them outlet balls because he's one of the highest players in the league of playing them give and goes, them quick handball, get it back. 40 touches in his Anzac medal and probably one of the more deserving Anzac medal winners for a long time. 9 score involvements, 6 ground ball gets, 2 goals and 11 pressure acts. And the big thing about him in the Anzac weekend is this kid was unplayable. This kid was unplayable. His leading lanes, his movement, his work off the ball. And in that fourth, he looked like he was on another planet. It was seeing Dusty in 2017 finals type things. This kid is in form. And can you tag him? Well, I would put it this way. You probably can, but at the detriment of your system. I think that the way that people need to look at this is if it's not Nick Daicos, it will be someone else. And at the moment, what is wonderful about Nick is his ability to read the play. And you can't really tag IQ. We have seen it so far this year. And I always look, people go back to that Hawthorn game and go, oh, wait, he was tagged there in the preseason. Honestly, with all due respect to the hard work that they did, Hawthorn, I don't think that they were looking at this game with any level of seriousness. I think when push comes to shove, his ability to find space is asking a lot of who tags him. And it's going to be more of a system thing and looking at negating what he does with the ball and trying to keep him out wide and trying to keep him away from damaging him. But in short, Nick Daicos, easily at the moment, the most informed player in the comp and easily at the moment, one of the more deadly players. And it's a joy to watch, even as a Carlton fan, a joy to watch. But that's Nicky Daicos. We love him here at Trendz. Let me know what you think. Would you tag him? What would you do? Would you make a structural change or would you try and kill him at the source, which is probably the best way to go with players of this ilk? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, look after yourself. Peace.